Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will show you around a very unique animal wildlife center, Fragile Planet. Their goal is to get the public and the community passionate about wildlife and animals. They pride themselves on being interactive and developing connections between people and animals. So I urge you, if you are in Los Fresnos or anywhere in the valley, I highly recommend paying a visit to this wildlife center. The keepers that work here are very knowledgeable and have a lot of experience with animals. Pretty much any question you have, they would be happy to answer it. And they are planning to soon expand their property to a bigger location down the road where guests can enjoy safaris and other types of animal encounters as well. So make sure you visit then and now, because I definitely want to go back when they open the new center. Before you go, make sure you check out their website so you can book your tour and check out some other events that they have. Fragile Planet started out in New York, but they decided to move to the valley because of the ocelot.
We want people to build connections with animals. A lot of the animals I'll mention today are endangered or becoming vulnerable species. So we believe if we want you guys to have the same passion we do about them, you guys need to make a memory with them, whether that's seeing them be dumb or seeing them eat a fruit snack or eating something. We just want you guys to leave here with a memory that you guys will be able to take with you for years, so you guys still care about these animals the same way we do. Because you can look at an animal, but if you're able to interact with them, we hope you have something you can take home. So I'll go ahead and I'll start with Todd. It's important that we want to tell the public. So I'll start off with this guy.
He's got his mouth
Yeah,
closed, so that's good.
Yeah, he has his mouth shut.
Yeah.
We try not to use tape so he doesn't get any irritation around there or anything. But Todd's super well behaved. I can hold him. We can go over his eyes. So if we touch his eye, we can see he has two eyelids. So he has one that goes sideways before the one that goes up and down. So that's his nictine membrane, and it's basically just a pair of goggles. That's what he uses whenever he's in the water to keep the dirt out of his eyes. He kind of keeps his head tilted, and that's just because he only has peripheral vision. So if you're right in front of him, he can't see you. So he has to keep it to the side. And on top of that, his vision is about 8 times worse than ours. So everything's kind of shapes and shadows. And pretty surprisingly, he can actually puff it out past his face, and it'll turn like a black or a brown color, and then he's gonna open his mouth and run straight at you. But other than that, he can't do much. He barely has teeth. He kind of just has bumps in his mouth. He doesn't have venom. He's not poisonous. So he kind of accepts that everybody's going to eat him, try and get him.
And he kind of looks like a bird.
He's a very good boy. And these guys are not native to here, so they are originally from Australia. And they came here in the 1980s. A group of US troops was stationed in Australia. Warm, that's how he wants to be. No, that's how he shows he's comfortable. So if he has his mouth open like that, he is at his pristine temperature. He is as happy as can be.
Now we got to meet a male skinny pig, and he is a hairless guinea pig from Peru. And they basically bred them like this by accident at first, but then we started selective breeding them to look like this, and he is pretty cute. And I got to hold him and pet him, and his skin did feel like more like that of a little pig. And he was very calm as long as you just held him, sat there and petted him gently. My mom got to pet him too. And they do squeal like little pigs, especially when they're about to eat. They get very, very excited when they're going to have their favorite types of fruit and veggies. They start to squeal. And he does have some little companions, and they do have a colony of guinea pigs. She was telling us that they have a colony of 150 guinea pigs right now. But again, they only had a few guinea pigs. Those are the hairless ones. So that was very interesting to see. As you walked around the grounds, you can see lots of turtles, different types of turtles. And this one was very cute and very happy to see me. He swam up to me as soon as I walked near the pool. And this one did as well. So it's very cool to see these little turtles just swimming around. And there were tadpoles and other little fish in there as well. Next, we got to meet this young camel. He was about 1 year old. And he was very energetic when we went to go see him. We got to feed him some camel food and some fruits and stuff, and he was very excited. So this ball they put in there as an enrichment program, but he was still scared of it. He did not want to be around it. So we did get to feed him, and he was loving it. He just wanted to eat and eat and eat off of the palm of our hand. So that was a really cool experience because he did have quite the appetite. And they do store fat in their camel humps. And he was still 1 year old, and he had just been separated from his brother. So he was still getting used to that. And but he was definitely a very happy camel. He was happy to see us, and he was happy to be fed by us. And, we did learn a lot about him. So he's an Asian camel. I believe he's Mongolian, if I'm not mistaken, because when I was in China, I remember there were Mongolian camels there.
Because he's not getting a piece of fruit. That is Vici. I'm trying to throw it there. So Vici, he is a cotton top Tamarind, and his girlfriend is Rebecca. She's kind of tends to stay in the back. She's a little bit more shy. But these guys, they are critically endangered, sadly. So there's only about 6,000 of them left in the wild. And we are hoping these guys will eventually. If you listen, they're speaking in those little whistles and chirps. That is how they speak. And what's pretty interesting is that each colony has their own dialect. And if you were to try and introduce them to a different colony, they literally don't.
So she was saying that they develop their own language, and they within their colony they understand their little cliques. But if you change one of them, they won't be able to understand what the other little group is talking about. So I found that pretty fascinating that they have their own little language that they understand.
Get him some friends. So we got in contact with Gladys Porter, and we were able to get these two guys. So this is TJ and Peter. I'm so sorry. So instead of having a girlfriend, he's gonna have two bros. But as I said, they do have that different dialect, so that's why you'll notice right now. So do you guys have any questions about them?
These also come from South America?
Yeah, so these will all come from South America. They'll be in the same rainforest. She's always the one that comes and says hi.
Oh,
and these guys, they do love to eat. So they have one of the fastest metabolisms in the animal kingdom. So for that, every 3 to 4 hours, we're constantly feeding them. And even then, they're still acting like they've never been fed before. That's just because in their head, they have never been fed before, because that's what their body tells them. I'm sorry, Louise. And they're very demanding, as you can hear. They're always talking to us. And these guys, they are a monogamous pair. So they will be paired for life. If one of them passes, they actually will remain solitary in the wild. Wow. So for that reason, these guys are staying with us until their very last day. They will never be separated. And
so
they are
sweet.
very happy about it. They absolutely love each other. They're supposed to build nests together, and it's supposed to be a big bonding experience. Bubbles, however, she's a very modern day woman, so she makes Weez do all the work while she eats food or kind of does whatever she wants. And these guys, she probably won't eat that. They really don't like fruit. But most of the time, they go ahead and they are omnivores. So they like to eat lots of different types of fruits, veggies, and also a lot of fish. That's typically what we do feed them. We like to mix up their fruits and veggies. Their favorite is sweet potato, obviously. And we also like to feed them live, so we'll also go ahead and catch fish for them and throw it in there. We also like to go ahead and... Are you going to be able to get it? Oh, good girl. And these guys, their favorite snack in the world is a cross.
So this is Angela, and they call her the heart of the operation. She's 28 years old, and she's the sweetest girl. So unfortunately, she was owned by a company that would use her for birthday parties. And unfortunately, a kid was pulling her tail, so she bit the kid, and the company took her teeth out. And so here at Fragile Planet, they've been treating her with such kindness, and they've been taking such good care of her. And you can just tell, she's very healthy and happy now.
She gets the name the spectacled owl because of those kind of circles around her eyes. It looks like she's wearing glasses. Samara, over here.
Her feathers look like they're so small.
Little pants. It looks like little pants.
Yeah, and you'll see she's also sticking out all of her feathers. That's That's just because she's really tiny. She's probably the smallest species of owl where she's from. And her main predator is sadly also owls. So she tries to be the complete opposite of an owl. That's why you notice she's awake right now. You can see her talons, so she's holding on to the and they're very strong. They have about 200 pounds of pressure behind them. So anytime she holds on to anything, she's holding on for dear life. Are bat-eared foxes. So they are native to Africa, so that's why we'll see they're kind of napping and being a little lazy at first. That's just because they prefer to conserve their energy for the night when it's a lot cooler. I'm not sure if she's going to want to eat this banana peel, but I'll offer it to her. So they can go ahead and keep their minds busy. We also like to feed them in slow feeders, so it kind of keeps their head a little bit fast, like just to slow them down a little bit. Well, porcupine, and she is a absolute deer.
I thought she was gonna be shy.
Oh no, Sonata's definitely not shy. So there you go. She also makes some funny noises. So Sonata, she's named the African crested porcupine. This little mohawk right here. So whenever she feels threatened, the first thing she's gonna do is to pick up her mohawk and look as big as possible. And if you're still messing with her after that and you're not really scared, the next thing she's gonna do is she'll start to sound like a rattlesnake. And she's able to do that by stomping her little feet really, really fast. And she'll also chomp her teeth. And back here, I'm not sure if we'll be able to tell, but she does have a tail that's kind of comprised of really thick, hollow quills. And she'll also start to shake those, and eventually she'll start to sound like a rattlesnake. But let's say you're still messing with her after that, the next thing she'll go ahead and she'll do is, she'll pick up all of her quills, and she'll kind of try and corner you, and then she'll run backwards into you and kind of slap you with her butt. So sadly, she can't shoot out her quills. That would be really cool, but she can't. So the best thing she can do is just run back species, and that's because she also wants to go ahead and hide from the lions, jaguars, anything like that. And she also wants to conserve her energy. She's very sweet.
We did get to take home one of her quills, and it was very, very sharp. It's basically made out of keratin, which is the same thing that our fingernails are made of. And yeah, it was pretty sharp. The other one was thinner, and it was more like a whisker.
He looks comatose. Yeah, he is. He looks dead. He's not dead. He was eating just this morning.
He's big.
Yeah, he's 25 years old. I think they're carrots.
Look, his face looks like a triceratops.
Yeah, he looks like a dinosaur.
But so we can still see his face, so we can kind of talk about it. Come on, Dan.
Oh, now he's coming.
Come on, Dan. So this is Nick. He's the one I was telling you guys about. Come here. Come on.
So he did come out when we were able to hang out with him, and because he was shedding, and we got to keep some of his spikes, and that was pretty cool to add to the collection with the quills and the spikes.
So we call him Iguana Don, like the dinosaur. Yep. Look at him bucket today.
He is like a dinosaur. He's like, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah. So we have some males that are just coming of age. So he's probably just being.
Where'd you guys get it?
Transferred anywhere in the world at all whatsoever, unless it's for conservation purposes. So pet rock iguanas cannot be shipped internationally at all to prevent smuggling. Right. So if none can do it, you can't hide it. You know what I mean? There's no whitewashing it. If it happens, it was not okay. Right. And they caught it, so he got in a lot of trouble, had to pay fines. I believe he did prison time over it.
That's crazy.
We have wild parrots. If you're in Brownsville, you can see them. Some people
Occasionally they come across, they fly over, you can hear them squawking.
I love them. Near the university.
People go take pictures of them. But what's interesting is you cannot bring those over. It's illegal. Correct. To bring, like this.
Maybe they were once here long ago before it was recorded.
So this is the amphibian room, and the amphibians, most of them that are in here are endangered, and they had turtles and salamanders, frogs and toads, and they had built very special aquariums specifically for each animal that they had in here. So I found that very fascinating and very neat, and you'll hear more about Nick talking about that in a bit. Some of these animals they rescued after they were smuggled in illegally, and they just kind of took them under their care. Like the turtle in here, He was smuggled in illegally from Australia, and they were able to, you know, protect him and take care of him. Not this little guy. So there's another one beneath him, and we'll see that one in a bit.
That's an alligator gar baby.
Oh, wow.
And then the little fish are Mexican tetras.
Ooh. Oh, they're jumping up.
Big feeding frenzy, like piranhas.
We have a lot of these alligator gars in the resacas here.
Yes, yep, all over the place. There's Agra, big girl's coming out.
Oh, wow. Where did you guys get her?
She was a confiscation in the year 2000. Somebody had her in their luggage coming back from Australia. They don't know if she was taken out of the wild or if she was bought as a pet and brought here illegally. But either way, she was smuggled here. So she was confiscated.
That's crazy.
She came to us from Fresno, cafes, whatever how to say that. Entire family. There's no other turtles related to them at all.
Her nose is kind of like a mole.
Yeah. In Australia, the locals call them the pig-nosed turtle.
The gopher turtles.
Yes. Yep.
We see them digging up the little holes, and
We have the Texas tortoises here, which are just like that. Wave tanks. So it simulates like a mountain stream.
so cool. And how do you guys figure how to make all of this and how to get all of this?
So we're actually the first place in the entire world to ever breed the purple toads. So it took a lot of trial and error and ingenuity. I've got these saltwater sister pump on the other side. They're synchronized via Wi-Fi and controllers. I can control them with my phone or by a dial on the back side. And they pulsate to make the waves. And then they circulate it at the same time. So it's like a big stream essentially.
Yeah. And what type? You said these are the
Purple toads. Yep. There's little tadpoles. You can see them on the inside of the edge there. They suction cup like a little stingray. They're not like normal tadpoles. And our purple toads.
Wow.
They're velvety black and it looks like
That's
purple
awesome.
lightning struck them.
And you said they're endangered?
Yes. Yep.
They're beautiful.
The entire genus. There's about 90 species of them, and almost all of them are endangered.
Where are they from?
The only place in Costa Rica that has these frogs left.
Oh,
The other ones went extinct.
That's crazy. And I never knew. I went actually on it because I know you guys have a sloth, and I was gonna do the
Baby green salamander.
Oh,
Oh my word, these tiny.
that's awesome. I think the place that where most salamanders come from, isn't it in Knoxville, also
Yes.
Tennessee?
Yep. The Blue Mountains in Tennessee. One single side of the mountain can have 30 different species of salamanders, all different.
That's so cute.
And to give an example, other countries like China, there's like 12 species in the entire country. It's all living plants. There's nothing fake in there. If there's a fake plant, Sam put it in there, plant a prank on it.
Wow. And everything just grows in here.
Yep. There's little gnats and roly-polies and bugs that you all grow and breed in there and get eaten as well.
That's crazy.
I take the centipedes out. Centipedes are dangerous. Fruit flies. So these are what we feed the frogs.
What?
And they don't fly. They crawl around like an ant. So the flying fruit flies aren't mine. Those are wild.
That's crazy. So they're just attracted to this? Or
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and please check out their website for more information. Make sure you plan ahead so you can enjoy a one-of-a-kind visit at Fragile Planet and talk to one of the owners or one of the keepers for a very educational visit. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye.